Hi, I'm Joel Persinger from Practical Defense Systems. Thank you very much for watching the channel. I do appreciate it. It's available on these other places as well. So if you don't like YouTube, check it out there. All right, an incident happened the other day. You've probably seen it in the news where some boys were shooting at each other in Florida while wearing body armor, and one of the boys, a 16-year-old boy, was killed. I'm going to talk about that rather bluntly, okay? But before I do, here's the news story.
Police are now saying a 16-year-old was killed when he and another teen actually took turns shooting at each other while wearing body armor. This is just unthinkable. The surviving teen and another are now facing charges. The shooting happened Sunday night along Southeast 52nd Court in Bellevue. News 6's Brian Didlake's following the tragic case from Marion County tonight.
It's sad that something that bad occurred.
And Joe Van Houten says it was tough to hear of the arrests of two 17-year-olds, Joshua Vining and Colton Whitler. Both are now facing charges in connection to the death of another teen, 16-year-old Christopher Broad. Bellevue police say they responded to this Southeast 52nd Court home after receiving this 911 call this past Sunday.
They're coming towards you, sir.
Hurry, tell them to hurry, please. Bro, please.
Sir, I'm getting them out to you.
The caller, Whitler, tells police that someone shot at the home where the teens were hanging out.
Please, bro, I love you, bro. You gotta stay with me, bro.
When police arrived on scene, they say Broad was suffering from a gunshot wound to the chest and Vining performing CPR. That's when Van Houten says he woke up to chaos.
I saw a teenage boy come out of the house, and he was all hysterical, screaming. I couldn't understand what he was screaming. And I was like, something bad happened.
Bellevue police say that through their investigations, it led them to Vining after evidence was discovered that suggests that Vining was the one who shot and killed Broad. The evidence, a Snapchat video pulled from another teen's phone who was with Vining, Broad, and Whitler. Police describing the video saying Broad, wearing a bulletproof vest, was seen facing the shooter. One person yells from behind the camera 2 times. Another yelling, "No, no," 1 time. Broad then states, "just once." A gunshot is fired, and after a pause, the report says 4 more shots were fired until someone says, "Oh my." At the end of the video, Vining is seen holding the gun. Van Houten says there should have been more supervision.
I'd like to think it was a tragic accident. I mean, I'd like to think they didn't want it to happen, but it happened. I mean, and now their lives are messed up forever.
Now both Vining and Whitler are being charged as adults. Vining faced a charge of aggravated manslaughter of a child with a firearm. Whitler charged with providing false information to police. We're in Bellevue. Brian Didlake getting results. News 6.
All right, if you want to go watch that news video independently, you can do that. I put a link in the description. Let's talk about guns here and what causes accidents like that. We can say that young boy died of industrial strength stupid. That would be probably true in a way. We could say that their actions were incredibly foolish. That's true. We could blame the parents. We can blame the gun. We can blame a lot of people. We can point fingers all over the place. But let's talk about what causes those kind of things. Now, keep in mind, I'm a father. I'm soon to be a grandfather. All my kids are grown. My kids grew up around guns. I grew up around guns. I've never shot anybody like that. My kids have never shot anybody like that. And I think there's a reason. So I'm going to explore that with you. First of all, let's look at some different things and just understand how foolish and stupid the idea of having your friends over at the house and you guys putting on body armor and shooting at each other with the body armor actually is. So let's equate it to something else. This is a tool. Now, whether it's a revolver like this one or a semi-automatic, it's a handgun, it's a tool. And it's used to fight for your life, to compete in competitions, to hunt, whatever you're going to use it for, okay? But it's a tool. This is also a tool. Although people, apparently these boys decided, by the way, this is also a tool. This is body armor, right? They decided to take this and put it on and shoot at each other for fun, figuring that that'll be fun, that'll get the adrenaline going and whatever. Let's equate it to something else so we can show how stupid that is. We know how stupid it is because the boy is dead, but let's look at it a little more logically perhaps. Again, this is a tool, and so I say to my buddy, I'm going to take my tool, I'm going to put something on your body, and I'm going to take that tool and use it against that and see if it hurts you. Would we do that with a power drill? Would we take a drill and put a piece of wood on our buddy's head, lay him down on the couch and say, let me put this on your head. I'm going to see if this will drill through the wood and if it drills through your head. That would be pretty stinking stupid, wouldn't it? Yeah, but it's no less stupid than what those boys did with body armor and a gun. If I take this piece of wood and I say, okay, or maybe a bunch of pieces of wood, and I say, hey, buddy, lay down, would you, on the floor? Let me try this skill saw. I want to see if I can cut through all that wood without cutting your body. How stupid would that be? It would be incredibly stupid. And I don't think anybody would ever do it. I've never heard of anybody doing that, but I have heard people shooting each other intentionally while wearing body armor. So what do we equate that to? First of all, everybody knows what this is. Every kid has seen one of these on a construction site, or mom and dad have got one in a garage or whatever. Maybe they've used one. Every kid has seen drills used to drill holes. They know that if they put this up against their body, they're going to drill a hole in themselves or drill a hole in their buddy, so they won't do it. They know if this thing's spinning and it gets close to your fingers or your body, you're going to lose fingers, or you're going to lose your life, or you're going to lose your leg or whatever. They know that, so they won't do it. Why is it that they don't know what this will do, even if you try to put body armor on somebody? So let's first of all, let's clear up some myths. Body armor is not 100%. It's not. Not like Hollywood, not 100%. Let's clear up one big myth. Hollywood, videos on YouTube for the most part, those are part of the entertainment industry. They're not part of the education industry. Practical Defense Systems is a training company. We're part of the education industry, okay? So I'm educating right now. This may not be that entertaining. In fact, it might be frustrating, aggravating, and you might say, I don't want to watch this guy's video anymore. He's rude, he's mean. No, I'm not being rude. I'm trying to save a life here, okay? When you watch somebody get shot in a movie or a television show, they didn't really get shot. And body armor does not work the way it does in the movies. Just like guns don't work the way they work in the movies. When you take a pistol and you shoot a guy and you hit him in the fingernail and he goes flying through the window, that doesn't work that way. That's not how it works. When you're on a video game playing video games and you're shooting each other or whatever, that's called the entertainment industry. Video games are meant to entertain. They're not meant to educate. So do not go to Hollywood University or Video Game University or YouTube University to learn about these things. You can, with YouTube University to a degree you can, just like you can learn how to use these things to a degree, but you have to be careful about who you're watching and what you're doing. But anytime somebody tells you to take a power tool, and use it against a human being, that's just industrial strength stupid. People get hurt. People get killed. Okay? Now, as I said, everybody knows what this is. Everybody knows what a skill saw is, or circular saw, whatever you want to call it. Everybody knows what a table saw is. Everybody knows what a drill press is. And so they're not going to stick parts of their anatomy in there, and they're not going to stick their friend in there. Everybody knows what these are because they've seen them in the movies, but not everybody's grown up around them like they've grown up around these power tools. If you have firearms in your house and you have kids, here's my suggestion. I've never been a proponent of hiding things from your children and refusing to let them see them or touch them or whatever, because all you do is create forbidden fruit. The kids are going to go do it when you're not around. When my kids were little, I got multiple children, okay? When my kids were little, I taught them how to shoot when they were, 5 and 6, depending on which one, years old. I took them to the range with .22, taught them safety. With me there, they learned to shoot. And anytime they wanted to go shooting and I could do it, we went shooting. But they had to go with me and they had to handle the guns with me. One day, my son said to me, in fact, each one of my kids said this. My son, Nick, said to me, Dad, can I see the guns? And I said, sure, which one? All of them? I said, okay, grab a seat. And he sat down in the living room on the couch, and one by one, I got every gun we own out of the safe. And I showed him how to make sure those guns were unloaded, how to point them in a safe direction, what constituted a safe direction and what didn't. I let him hold them and practice unloading them and checking to make sure they're clear. I had him practice, keep his finger off the trigger, keep him pointed in a safe direction. I took them to the range and I took fruit, watermelons or whatever, and we shot fruit. This is what my dad did with me. I had a .22 and he had me shoot oranges. And he would pick up the orange and come see that little hole in the front? Yeah. See that big old tear in the back? Yeah, that's what that would do to your arm. That's what that would do to your chest. That's why these are tools to be used as tools. And that's why they're dangerous. You don't point them at people. This is things my dad, who was a deputy sheriff, taught me when I was growing up. I was never kept away from the guns like that. If I wanted to see the guns, I had to ask my dad, but he would always show them to me. And I told my kids, you can see the guns anytime as long as I'm not working or something. But if you let me know you want to see a gun or the guns again, we'll do it. But here's the rule. You have to do it with me. You can't just do it on your own, okay? And as a result, these were never forbidden fruit from my kids, and they've always understood these just as well as they understood these. They've always known that they were dangerous if not used properly, just as this drill, just as this saw, just as my table saw, just as my miter saw, just as the tools that I use around the shop or around the ranch or wherever. They understand that this is a tool, just like the rifles are a tool, the shotguns are a tool. I got my kids hunting when they were young, so they could see that if they shoot things, things die. That's what you should do with your kids where guns are concerned, and I'm going to suggest that that's how you do it. And then your kids won't do this kind of stupid stuff. It's a familiarity issue. If you allow your kids to be educated about guns by video games in Hollywood, they're going to learn the wrong things. So teach them the right things. And if you don't know the right things, then go take a class, for crying out loud. Take your kids with you. Get them through some safety classes on firearms. They're all over the place. There are NRA instructors teaching basic firearm safety all over this country. There is no excuse for not going and taking a course. Most of them are very inexpensive. If you don't have the money, save it. Which is more important? Doing away with your morning Starbucks so that you can get your kids educated about guns properly if you have one in your home? Or having your kid risk getting shot by his buddy because they're playing around while you're at work or whatever. All right, that's it. That's all I got to say about that. Hopefully that helps. Have a wonderful day. Thank you very much for watching, and stay safe.